Everybody, welcome to Garden Time with Belle. If you're new to my channel, I am so glad you joined me. I am out here next to my raised bed today because I am gonna, I hope, be doing my final cleanup to put my beds to rest or my beds to bed for the winter. I happen to garden in a zone 6 here in the mid-Missouri area. Gosh, it's been really cold lately. We've been down in the low 30s several nights in a row. It is about 52 sunny degrees outside today. Perfect day to tackle this end of the season job. So during the intro video, you got to see me doing some of that cleanup. Really simple things like blowing out all the excess leaves that had collected in my pathways in the raised bed garden. You got to see me pull up some plant stakes, put away some things that have just been sitting out here, like my bamboo stakes that I use for my dahlias, some of my cloches, those little wire cloches that I like to use to protect young seedlings for birds. But the purpose of today's video really is me sharing with you how you can create your own free mulch. So before we really get into how to create wonderful free leaf mulch, I thought I'd take you all into the raised bed garden one last time here so you can look around and see actually what's still in the raised bed, what's still growing, and then get a little close-up look at what I'm going to do. And then we're going to get into the benefits of how to make your own leaf mulch, how I like to use leaf mulch in the garden, and get some leaf mulch on some of my raised beds. Here we are in the raised bed garden, and those of you that follow my channel, you know that I use this raised bed garden to grow veggies, herbs, and cut flowers. I have 9 individual boxes, but we started out, my husband built me these 2 years ago when we first moved in the house. We're on 10 acres and have lots of space for gardening, so lucky for that. But anyhow, just like most of us as gardeners, we keep needing more space and more and more and more and more. So now I've got 9 beds. Today, you're going to get to see me put in that special leaf mulch that my husband and I made, and I'm only going to apply it to this bed, this, and these 2 narrow boxes. And the reason for that is this, and these 4 boxes here. Oh my gosh, next spring, they are gonna get a big renovation. You guys are just gonna have to stay tuned for how I'm gonna be swapping out those 4 boxes for something bigger and better. Just wanted to show you all what's still growing here. I've still got a little Swiss chard, the rainbow chard. Still going strong, even though we're almost to Thanksgiving. This little bed has chives on either end, and chives are a perennial, so they'll come back for me next year. And a lot of people don't know this, and actually it took me a long time to realize that cilantro loves cooler weather. Remember, I told you all, we've been down in the low 30s for, off and on for several nights. It's going strong. So in fact, I'm going to make some Korean noodle dish tonight, and I've got to make sure I harvest some of the cilantro to put in that. And then the only other things growing are my, not rosemary, my lavender. I've got a lavender plant. That's a perennial. It'll be fine here. And if I zoom in really close, do you see some of these seedlings right here? Those are little starts. I'm trying the cool weather method, cool flower method, and I have sown some snapdragons in here a couple of months ago, supposedly. For my region, the kind of snapdragons I planted are supposed to overwinter and come back next spring. And then last but not least, in this bed, let me back up here for you. You all hopefully came along with me recently as I planted 50 cloves of garlic. Garlic is one of the easiest things to grow, and if you're a cook like me, you go through tons of garlic in a year. And so I'm going to link the video below in the description below, so you all, if you haven't seen how I like to grow garlic, there it is. You can see I have some straw mulch about 4 to 6 inches on top of where I sowed that garlic. I thought I'd share with you, first of all, how you can make leaf litter. And there are 3 ways that I know of that work really well. Number 1, take your lawnmower, if it's got a bag attachment, whether it's a riding lawnmower or a push mower, and once those leaves are down and really dry, drive your mower over there, collect all of those ground up leaves into the bag attachment, and you've got leaf litter. You've got amazing leaf mulch. If you don't happen to have a mower that has a bag attachment, you can actually gather up your dried leaves, put them down in a really big trash can, and take your weed trimmer and turn that on and push your weed trimmer up and down and all around inside your trash can, and it will grind up leaves really well. But of course, my husband always has to go big, and so a couple years ago he decided to invest in a chipper. So I think I'll put a video of him using his chipper to grind up all of our leaves. I'll put that on the screen while I'm telling you a little bit about how he likes to do that. So basically his process is he gets the leaf blower out, and after leaves are super dry, he will blow them all into a big section on tarp, and then he will take all those mounds of leaves and he'll feed it through the leaf chipper, and then he blows that into, he has this huge, I don't know where he gets stuff, but he has this huge like tarp, but it has handles. It's like a massive bag with zippers. He just blows all of that leaf litter into this massive tarp and just stores it until we need it. And so he's already done that hard part for me. I helped him a little bit last year, but he really actually did that process a couple of weeks ago. I've just been so darn busy. I haven't, there's some leaves right now. I haven't had a chance to get out here and use that leaf mulch on my beds, but today is the day for that. So those are three really interesting and efficient ways to create your own leaf mulch. Of course, I am sure some of you out there are wondering, why in the world would you even bother making your own leaf mulch? Well, there are some really good reasons why using leaf mulch in your garden is a good thing to try. First of all, it's free. Free mulch. I mean, wow, what's better than that, right? Secondly, just like regular mulch, that leaf mulch is going to provide weed suppression. It's going to provide soil and moisture retention in your garden. Really good reasons. Lots of people will use it also. They'll surround their perennials or brand new baby perennials they've planted in the fall. They'll put lots of leaf litter around to give it some extra protection from really harsh winters. And being in zone 6 here in Missouri, we get really harsh winters sometimes. So those are some really good reasons. The other great thing about leaf litter, instead of things like hardwood mulch, is leaf litter will introduce microbes into your soil. So what ends up happening is as the leaf starts to break down, it introduces fungus, beneficial fungus to the garden. And that's really great for all soil. Soil needs lots of organic matter. Leaves are organic. Can't get more organic than taking what nature gives you and returning it to the soil. So the microbes that are produced from this, that get into your soil, feed your soil, and make your soil healthier. The other nice thing about leaf mulch is it's sort of fluffy, right? Because you ground it up. You're not laying mats and mats of big, huge leaves like this sycamore leaf. That's not good for your garden, but this is light and fluffy, and I'll show you here in a minute what it looks like. That's really great because that also, as it works down into the soil over time, it will enhance your soil, especially if you have heavy, wet soil. It keeps it a little bit lighter and more pliable. The only other thing I will say about leaf mulch, this is what we would consider carbon. Something dead like this, dead dried leaves, introduce carbon into your soil. Your soil also needs nitrogen. Nitrogen is if, when you're when you're composting, you add nitrogen. That's the green stuff. That's the fresh scraps, food scraps, fresh green grass. That's your nitrogen source. Dead grass, dried grass, or dried leaves is carbon. So, you don't want to go overboard with leaf litter because then you might pull too much nitrogen out of your soil. But I have had great success. One of my mentor gardeners, Joe Lample, I'll link his his website in the description below. Joe Lample is a huge proponent of dressing beds with leaf litter, and he's had many years of success in the garden, and I've had really pretty good success too. So what am I going to do today? I'm just going to take you really quick and show you what it looks like close up, and then I'm going to scoop probably 2 or 3 inches of the leaf litter, and I'm going to spread it over just those 3 beds, or maybe actually the 5 beds, because I'm going to do this little narrow beds too. But the other beds aren't going to get it, because next year those other 4 beds are going to get a big redo. So anyhow, enough talking. Why don't you follow me back into the raised bed garden, and I need to get that leaf litter on top of the beds. So this is that big, huge container I told you about that my husband had that has these handles on it. I have no idea where he gets this stuff, but I'm glad he's got it. So anyhow, just want to show you, this is what it looks like after it's all ground up. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to scoop some of the leaf litter into this collapsible pop-up bag, and then I'll just take it in there and just spread it. So it could not be easier. Get that out of the way. Well, that's going to do it for today's garden project. Pretty easy. My job was just to take this beautiful leaf mulch that my husband made and get it on these raised beds. We are fast approaching the end of November, and I just want to make sure these beds are happy and healthy throughout our cold winter months. So easy to take these big beautiful leaves and turn them into something like this. So I hope you've got some ideas of how you can take your leaves, how you can take what Mother Nature is giving you and turn it into a beautiful mulch for your garden. And more importantly, why should you even bother doing that? Why? Because it's so great for your soil. It's also really great for your plants. So until next time, happy gardening, everybody.